They will see an NSAS 2.0 coming up soon. Yes. You can tell already by the immediate reaction of Nigerians that they hate police brutality. And if you see the guy who shot him, he was not in uniform. Most of them who are committing these atrocities are the former SARS people they should have dismissed from the police who are still in the police force. They are the ones carrying out these extrajudicial killings. They can never change. And they know them, but they are the ones they rely on most to do dirty jobs because they bring in the highest amount of returns. They didn't know who took the video. Otherwise, they could have killed the person who also took the video. That's how wicked the Nigeria police is. That's one sobering moment for all of us, especially those of us who work on the front lines of fighting against police brutality. These things are not new. When we tell you that police has been killing people, extrajudicially, that was what led to NSAS. And now they've done it again. It shows that we shouldn't have let off against these policemen even after NSAS. I have been saying it that the police did not change their ways. They only hid their atrocities more from the public. And I've seen, what you saw that day is what happens every day, even here in Abuja. At the SARS, the former SARS, the place they call Abattoir. Anybody that is brought, they shoot the person right away, immediately. They have determined that if you are caught in a certain place, you must be shot. And most people don't survive it, but you don't get to see it, except to see it on camera. In January, I was using my glasses to cover police atrocities, collection of bribery. The former Inspector General of Police, the disgraced Inspector General of Police, took me to court for using my glasses to cover police atrocities. Few months later, a judge ruled that everybody has a right to cover the police whenever they are committing, whether they are committing an atrocity or not. I hate to advertise these glasses, but they are very important for everyone to get. But you may not always be lucky with glasses, so find other means that are hidden to record police atrocities. Because if somebody hadn't recorded this, we would not have. In fact, they were covering it up. I think this thing happened as of April 5. It happened on Sunday. On Sunday? Yes. But they didn't know who took the video. Otherwise, they could have killed the person who also took the video. Yes. That's how wicked the Nigeria police is. And my position is that both the Commissioner of Police in the states and all the top echelon of the police in Delta State must be relieved of their position immediately. Delta has become a very difficult place recently, a hub for renewed repression, especially with that crazy guy who left the PPRO of Muyiwa Adejobi. Before this thing happened, somebody had reported that Ogunjobi took some people to raid his hotel forcefully. He has been committing a lot of atrocities, and I heard his Commissioner of Police is also a very corrupt person. They are both friends. This is the time to retire Muyiwa Ogunjobi. I mean, not retire him, dismiss him from the police force. Yes, immediately. Muyiwa Ogunjobi is the one encouraging this kind of, and these are things they were doing before they got promoted. He was illegally promoted by Egbetokun. Look at what he has been encouraging now in Delta State. But beyond that, there must be a national judicial inquiry about police repression again. If the Nigerian government ignores it, or the top echelon of this country ignores it, they will see an NSAS 2.0 coming up soon. Yes. You can tell already by the immediate reaction of Nigerians that they hate police brutality. And this informs my position also of saying that police has no business getting involved in civil matters. Every time you see policemen involved in cyber stalking, the abuse. I heard that some guy was also arrested in Kogi State yesterday, brought to Abuja, and been repatriated back to Kogi State on behalf of the Accountant General, who is notorious for jailing people. I have told the new Inspector General of Police, now old, yes, that if he thinks that people are going to overlook all these infractions, I have a bridge to sell to him, and that's the Brooklyn Bridge. He's going to be shocked. This is a challenge to him. I know his tenure has expired, but until they appoint another one, to move immediately, get action to be taken, arresting those policemen and bringing them to Abuja, we know the trick. After a while, you put them back in the system. You transfer them. There are several of those policemen who kill people. I met some of them in the cell. I've seen them again on the highway. In fact, the killer policemen are more preferred in carrying out these kind of dirty jobs. And if you see the guy who shot him, he was not in uniform. Most of them who are committing these atrocities are the former SARS people they should have dismissed from the police who are still in the police force. They are the ones carrying out these extrajudicial killings. They can never change. And they know them, but they are the ones they rely on most to do dirty jobs because they bring in the highest amount of returns for them. So we're just lucky to have seen this, but I'm sure, like, generally we all take a position on how to proceed. But I'm glad that Nigerians have come out en masse to say this is unacceptable, and we'll see to it that this is concluded. And before you ask me about MTN, we are still on their case. We only gave them 7 days. 7 days will expire on Monday from our own calendar, but we are aware that some court judgments say they can now return, people can now borrow data, but that's not what we are asking for. We are asking for them to upgrade their services and stop stealing people's data, both at night or daytime, and also your airtime, and to improve the quality of service. So the protest is going to happen. It's going to involve MTN and all the telecom companies and their supervisory ministry and the NCC. The NCC is the most useless government agency in this country. They are just, they are some of the highest paid government staff in this country, but they are the most useless. They get a lot of money and they do nothing in return for the Nigerian people. So that's our position on this. But if the lawyers have something to say about...
So on the police...
Yeah.
Okay. On the police brutality...
Because only if a person is in active combat, for example, if a criminal is opening fire to the police can actually return fire and in defense, okay, to suppress such an atrocity or a criminal act. However, this is somebody that is alleged to have committed an offense for whatsoever reason. The person is not armed. The person is even currently on handcuffs, and you decided to end the person's life there. So at this point, you have become the executive arm of government and have also become the judicial arm of government. You've exercised the executive powers of the president as enshrined in Section 5 of the Constitution, and you have also exercised the judicial powers as enshrined in Section 6 of the Constitution. And you have, on your own, decided that he's guilty without any form of trial, without any form of explanation. In fact, from the video, the guy could be heard saying, "Let me take you to the place where something, let me take you." And of course, this is to show how poorly intelligent some of our